So these two things you have to do if you're trying to get a job. So these technical interviews are kind of similar to that. Take more than one round of tech. Hello and welcome back to Algo Tutors YouTube channel. I am Akshat Jain and I am a software development engineer. In this video, I am going to tell you about the secret of how to prepare for interviews. Well, it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be very difficult. You have to just follow some tips which I give, and I am open for the suggestions in the comment too. So we'll start with what is the pattern. First assessment in any company if you're trying to get a job. So it is a written test and a technical MCQ round. Second is a coding assessment. And third is optional. Some companies take this type of round like Accenture or Capgemini and etc. The few service based companies which take this type of round. And the fourth, which is the gateway to your dream company, is technical interviews. Okay, so I hope you have heard about interviews, right? You have seen many YouTube clips of interviews, not technical, not HR, the IAS or UPSC interviews. These technical interviews are kind of similar to that. What happens in UPSC interviews are they give you the real life situation, like what will you do if your bank account got freeze or there's a lot and lots of stuff. But in technical interviews, they will give you some real life problems again, but you don't have to answer by your mouth. You have to use your fingers, use your brain, and use your mouth, of course. You have to write a code, you have to explain the code. So these two things you have to do in an technical interview. I'm not talking about HR interview. HR interview is totally different. Will not get there in this video. But some companies take more than one round of technical interviews. Some company take even 4 rounds of technical interviews. This might be a good news if you are a good coder. So let's jump into how to prepare for interviews. Okay, this might be going a little interesting now. So how to prepare for interviews? I'm assuming you all are fresher, and if you're not fresher, if you're experienced, the first thing, the most important thing you should know and you should practice before any technical interviews, I should write technical here, is DSA. That is data, structures and algorithms. Now in the technical interviews, what happens is the interviewer gives you a problem statement, and now you have to write a code, not a syntactical code, like you don't have to include all the libraries, all import all the packages. You have to write a pseudo code and you have to explain your approach in the interview. Suppose I am an interviewer. I give you a question blah 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 blah. Now how will you react or how will you answer to that question is you will go with the brute force approach. Should be first discuss the time complexity. Interviewer will tell you, bro or sis, this doesn't seem good, can you improve it? And you will say, sure, I can. Then you give an optimal result, an optimal approach. Discuss time complexity, discuss space complexity. After discussing this, you might become a good candidate in that company, because the way you explain things is more important than the way you write things. Okay, so this is the tip number 1. Second, the most important thing is prepare your resume very well, because resume is kind of similar to your biodata when you're going to a marriage proposal. If the biodata seems good, you might become the bride or groom. Same way, if your resume is good, if your resume has the skills, desired skills, good projects, then you might become the engineer in that company. So, and understand each and every line you have written in your resume. The third thing is theory of every subject taught in your college, like computer networks, operating system, database management system, object oriented programming, and the programming languages like which you are familiar with, like maybe C++, Python, Java, etc. Now, after eating, I'm just saying eat all this thing. After eating all of this thing, you are ready to conquer the war, which is interview. Now, we'll switch to the second thing, which is the most important thing you should know today. What is important I've discussed earlier also in the above slide, which is theory, DSA, projects. Okay, so resume, I'm writing projects here, and most important thing I'm writing here in star, which is introduction. Okay, your introduction should be in a minute, less than a minute, should not be more than a minute, because nobody listens to you when you are on a call with someone. There's a lot of disturbance. Do not talk with the interviewer in a way like, sir, I am this. Don't use a. Don't use that. If you stuck at any point, just take a pause, then deliver. So you should know how to introduce yourself. You have to sum up your 4 years in your college into 1 minute. What have you done? What skills do you have? Etc. What projects have you made? Where did you did your internship? There's a lot of stuff you have to sum it up in between 1 and 1.5 minutes. Not more than that. Okay, so these things are important. Again, eat them. Okay, this is your breakfast. Now this is your lunch. The simplest thing in the process is how to prepare your resume. Prepare your resume very well. Okay, what is a resume? We'll see. Resume is just a piece of paper for someone, but not for you. Resume consists of what is your introduction. Introduction is a verbal way of introducing yourself. Resume is the physical way of introducing yourself. It should also sums up all the 4 years, okay, of your college life. It should contain your education, the skills you have, projects, prior experience, internship experience, work experience depending upon your experience, extracurricular activities if you have, achievements if you have, certifications if you have. These should be in your resume with clickable links, proper links. Okay, you should mention all in your resume. Then you are interview ready. Do's and don'ts. Please, please, please focus on this. Don'ts is never lie. Never lie in your resume. Okay, guys, never lie in your resume. What you mention in your resume, interviewer might revolve around that resume and ask the questions. Suppose for the sake of ATS, for the sake of bypassing the ATS, you have written that I know cryptography, I know blockchain, I know this, I know that, and interview thought like he's a mad person, bro. So I should ask him this questions only, because I also have an interest in cryptography and blockchain. I should ask him the question likewise. So he might go very, very high level. You just have written just to bypass the resume, like to mention good skills. So you should not do it ever. Okay. If an interviewer at the end of interview says, do you have any questions for me? Don't say no. Always say yes. Ask at least one question, and should not be more than 2 questions, please. Okay. You should ask at least one question to him, which is relevant. Okay. Don't ask his salary or her salary. Don't ask. Ask relevant questions. Okay. So these are the don'ts. Don't do it. In do's, if you don't know the answer, tell honestly that you don't know. Don't fool the interviewer, or don't waste the time of an interviewer by saying stupid answers. Okay. If you don't know the answer, tell honestly that I don't know this answer, but I have a knowledge about similar topic to this question. just divert the conversation there in a subtle way. Okay, don't be rude, don't be nervous, just ask him that you don't know the answer, which is okay. Now we have come to the final point, we have come to the final, and I hope you all should be waiting for this pro tips. The first pro tip is ask your seniors. Okay, how will you find your seniors? If the company has came to your college, ask the previous batch of the seniors, like how was the experience, what questions did they ask, etc. Ask them. If not, if it is off campus, there is no one near you who has been ever given an interview to that company, just use LinkedIn. Ask to people, connect with people, ask questions to them. Third point is read previous experiences. Okay, there's a lot and lots of website available in the internet. Just go there, read the previous experience. You might get some of the very very helpful experience. Even I write it and I also read them. Okay, fourth point is have a very good sleep before an interview. Eat well, don't stress, eat good food, chill, everything will go very good. I hope you found this video helpful. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, comment what you want next in this series. I'll be happy to help you. Till then, bye bye.